Hey, my name is Samuel, and we are going to be reacting to Faces by Mac Miller. This is my first video in this style. This is kind of my first, real YouTube video, if that makes sense anyways. So, take it with a grain of salt. Give me some leeway. More of what I meant to say. Cut me some slack. Please. And, yeah, let's see what this is all about. Let's start it.
Take your time when talking to a nigga. I don't waste none. Knock you off your feet and then I flee before the jakes come. Sick of hearing cases from these niggas who ain't face none. But I'ma be the nigga that they feelin' when the day come. Thirsty for the pay, young niggas let it straight. Straight bullet hit my brother in his motherfucking face. What's fate when a person don't deserve what he get? Shooting reckless at the father, almost murdered the kid. Or is it karma for the shit that both the parents had did? Ain't embarrassed where I'm living, we get married for kills. From a family of niggas that was veteran skilled. Bold and heartless cause my mama made me part of the guild. Deals made selling thrills, paid the bills at the crib. Drag him down by the river, he'll be missing for years. And them funerals was usual, ain't shedding no tears. Knew the fallen had it better off than most of us did.
The instrumental of this song is incredibly engaging. I'm finding it hard to focus on what the lyrics are saying because I'm just enjoying the instrumental of this song. I'm gonna have to go back and listen again and see what the lyrics are saying. It's kind of hard to grasp when the instrumental's just grabbing me in so well. I'm really liking this. Yeah, this is definitely the highest rated on Rate Your Music for a reason.
Shit, heaven knows heaven's gates probably closed. And these hoes in the race for the gold. We was raised on that fork in the road. No food on our plate, just the meals that we stole. Yeah. I spit that prayer hand emoji, the shit that in Jacoby.
That back and forth I've always found to be a really neat effect. I really like the way that Kendrick Lamar used that in You and Here. Although it may not be as impactful as that song, I still found it rather engaging in a really interesting way to, I guess, grab your attention. And I like the way it's done here.
Holy is the holy, Nick Nolte and some Oakleys, that's a flex though. Cover up the issues that I kept close. Sober I can't deal, I'm in the corner with my head low. Running from my shadow, never ending chase. Ease the pain of the battle that's within me. Sniff the same shit that got Whitney. The high heel depression, my temple feel the metal coming out the Smith & Wesson bang. Say a prayer, leave my brains on the tile floor. My bitch hate me, always tell me I should smile more. Off them drugs that hit you in your spinal cord. This is shit I need to keep the climate warm. Wish I could get high, space migration. Pretend I can just fly to great vibrations. The magazines need a quote. When I'm gone, sorry I don't even know. Yo. Whoa, yeah. And this pain, and this pain, and this pain, and this pain mixed up with this rain, this rain, this rain, this rain. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I almost feel like this part of the song, Mac Miller didn't really write, he more improvised it. At least that's what it feels like. I'm not necessarily saying it sounds bad, but it does feel like he kind of, at least the chorus here, I guess you could call this a chorus, the outro, more like, towards the end of the song. It seems like he just went behind the mic with an idea and kind of just ad-libbed it a little bit. He did a good job doing it, if that's what he did, but that's just the sort of vibe that I get from it. Not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, it's over. Alright. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that to get a grip of the lyrics and more solidify my opinion. So I'm gonna do that a couple of times off camera, but I can definitely understand why that would be the highest rated song off this album, at least on Album of the Year. And I haven't heard many songs from this album, but if the entire album is this solid, or at least close to this solid, it would definitely be worth a listen. I mean, good gosh. That was pretty nice. The rap at the beginning had a fantastic flow to it, and it didn't seem like they were necessarily just rapping about nothing. It seemed like they had they had a deeper meaning behind what it was they were trying to say, and that's what I'm going to go re-listen to and try and work through and see what it is that it means. But for a lot of that entire song, I was just gripped in the instrumental, and I found it hard to even focus on what it was they were saying. I really did enjoy that one, and at least as far as first impressions go, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give that like an 8. It was rather engaging, and I'm the kind of listener that really likes songs the more I hear them, and the fact that I enjoyed that song so much on first listen is really saying something. So I'm going to go listen to it a couple more times, and I will come back with my finalized opinion. After listening through that first rap, again, I have a little bit more of a grasp on what it is that he's trying to get across. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems as though he's talking about how he doesn't want to hear any shit from people that hasn't gone through the sorts of hardships that he's had to go through. That growing up or just living the life that he lives, and it seems that he has had to deal with quite a bit of pretty heavy stuff, whether it be murders or whether it be just having hard times. Like he says here at the end, no food on our plate, just the meals that we stole. So he probably wasn't well off financially. His family wasn't well off financially, and so they were going through quite a bit of a struggle. At least that's what I get from this, is that he's just trying to say that I don't want to hear any shit from people that haven't gone through the same sort of things that I have gone through. Like, you're trying to talk all this shit, but you don't know what it's like to live through these different things, and at least that's what I'm getting from it. And then he goes on to explain some of the different things that he's had to deal with growing up, or not even just growing up, but just throughout his life, probably growing up and then into his adulthood as well. Listening through Mac's part, again, it's quite clear to me, and I mean, it's probably true of both, definitely true of both, that there are quite a bit of things that are flying over my head and a lot of references that I'm missing, but just through a second listen and paying close attention to the lyrics, it seems as though here Mac is at least talking about how he has a dependence on drugs, and he uses drugs to be able to get away from what it is that he has to deal with mentally, that he says he wishes he just could be high, and when he's sober, he's just got his head down in his hands and not feeling all that good. And he almost seems to talk a little bit about suicide or suicidal ideation here towards the end, and actually the middle of it as well. Here when he says, say a prayer, leave my brains on a tile floor, and especially towards the end when he says, when I'm gone, sorry, I don't leave a note. So seems like he's dealing with some pretty heavy stuff, and this seems like a song that might even be worth going through and breaking down bit by bit, lyric by lyric, and seeing exactly what it is that he's trying to get across here, because it's clear that there's quite a bit packed into here, but I can't necessarily pick up on everything just with a couple of different listens, but it's definitely quite interesting. And with a second listen, I think I like it more than the first listen, and I think a lot of that is because I have more of an understanding of what the song is trying to get across. I will say I do believe that these first two, they're I don't feel like they're directly related. I do feel like what the things that they're trying to get across aren't necessarily the same point. I feel like they're going after two different things here. Like the first rap verse is talking about, I don't want to hear your shit when you haven't dealt with what I've dealt with. And the second one is, I wish I could be high all the time so I didn't have to deal with what's going on up here. And while both of those things kind of hold the same idea of dealing with shit, dealing with different things, and how awful that can be, they don't necessarily that seems to be pretty much the only link that is keeping the two of them together. So if I had to give a criticism for the song, that would definitely be one of them. But outside of that, I like a lot of what I hear, and I will probably be returning to this song, most definitely. Whether it's just to listen casually or try and dive a little bit deeper into the lyrics here, but I do really like what I hear, and I'm quite impressed with it. So I think overall score, probably going to keep it around, I'd like to say 2 and 8, 2 and 9 out of 10, honestly. Even after just a couple of listens, I was quite impressed with this one, and I've liked a lot of Mac Miller's stuff, but there's also some stuff from him that I haven't been the biggest fan of. But so I wasn't exactly sure what to expect from this one. And I did look at the ratings first, saw 94 on Album of the Year, so I guess it was appropriate to expect something pretty decent from it, but I was still rather impressed with what I got. And yeah, so there's my reaction. First video, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.